I'd like to say hello to everyone. My name is Don Dillon. I'm a team member of Team IO. We have 6 members in our group. Our front-end developers, Alexander, we have Jonathan, we have Marshall. Our back-end developers, myself, Don, we have Phil, and we have Rainier. As a group, for our final project, we did some brainstorming and we thought, hey, nowadays, the world today, lots of folks are health conscious. They're watching their weight, their diet, their calorie intake. And we said, well, what about that calorie intake? Okay. So we came up with this great idea of a web app. We call it the NuCal Calorie Tracker. So what does this thing do? This app allows a user to enter in their favorite food dish, right? And the app will return the number of calories, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins associated with that food dish. Now, the user can enter in a list of dishes, and the app will return the summation of the totals for the calories, the proteins, the fats, etc. And with that, I'm going to hand the wheel over to Mr. Johnson, Alexander, and he will give you a demo of the app to show you what it looks like, the login, and all that kind of stuff. And I hand it to you, Alex.
Thanks a lot, Don. Here we have our home screen for our NuCal app. We have 2 links here. The second link is our About page, which gives a link to GitHub and email for each of our wonderful teammates. When you go back to the home screen, it starts with the sign up and log in order for the user to actually access the calorie tracker. They would first need to log in and sign up. So I'll do that now with the sign up, with the username, and we'll provide an email. And a password. And user signs up. It's a success. And to log in, they'll click this toggle here. They'll switch over to a login, and they'll use those same credentials. So we'll use the email. And the password. Once logged in, they have access to this wonderful calorie tracker here, which has a text field where the user can type in different foods they're eating that day to add to their list. So let's say they had a piece of pizza. They'll type in pizza and add it to the list. Here you see the that information is displayed within the table here. And let's say they have something else. Let's say they have an apple. They will click add to food list, and that information is presented here with the total of calories, fat, carbs, and protein. Let's say that the user made a mistake. We have a designated delete button here so that it can delete pizza. Maybe that's not good enough. It's not a healthy choice. So they delete pizza, and they might want to change that to maybe 1 cup of rice. Then that information is updated, given the totals, so that they can keep track of their calorie intake. A lot of this functionality is due to our implementation on the back end. So I'll hand it over to Don to more elaborate on that.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. So we want to keep in mind to keep a separation between the front end and the back end. The front end, we're using React, and that's usually where you want to have the user has an interface uh, with the web page itself. That's where the interface and interaction is done. On the back end, we're using Spring Boot. And in this sense, this is where you want to have your interaction with your database and your external services, like our API that we're using, the Edema Nutrition Tracker, which is the engine that's grabbing those numbers for the protein, calories, and fats, etc. So as a security thing, it's always a good idea to have your APIs called from a backend so that you can protect sensitive information like your API keys, your database credentials, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So with that in mind, I'd like to talk I'd like to pass it over, that is, to Jonathan, who's going to talk about the technologies that we use to build the app.
Thank you, Don. As Don was saying, one of the things that we did use for the front end for our app is React, along with JavaScript, Material UI for the user interface, alongside with HTML, CSS, version control for GitHub, and code. And for code editor, we use VS Code. Now I'm going to pass the baton to Rainier for him to explain what we use for the backend. Rainier?
Thank you, Jonathan. For the backend, we use the Java programming language under the Spring Boot framework. This is for the implementation of the backend, and for the testing, we use the H2 console, which is a SQL-based database system for user input management. And for testing our user API, we went for the Thunder Client framework. And from that, I will leave it to Phil for the conclusion of our presentation. Phil?
Okay, so I'll fill in for Phil quickly.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, go ahead, Phil.
Thank you, Rainier. As a team, we're proud of the app we have created, and we enjoyed implementing the various technologies that we have learned. We want to thank our instructors, Zach and Mohammed, for their help and guidance throughout our cohort. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
All righty, so we'd like to open it up for any questions that you may have. We really enjoyed, again, like Phil was saying, working with Zach and Mohammed, and we're opening up for any questions anyone may have.